guys, Team Kings of Games here. My name's Dylan, aka Hybrid, the Herald Disciple, if you watch the live stream. I'm trying to give 3 Stacks a break and let him relax today. So I'm going to be uploading my FLUFFAL deck profile for you guys. A lot of you have been asking for one. He doesn't have the deck. I had most of it, so all I had to do was pick up some patchworks and work around with it. I'll explain some of my card choices and what I do, and maybe some combos if you guys are interested. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Let me know about the video quality too. This is very important because I'm trying a whole new camera out. And yeah, let's get right into it. So to start off, we have 3 copies of FLUFFAL Dog. FLUFFAL Dog is your Stratos. It'll search you any FLUFFAL monster from your deck, or Edgem Sabers if need be. There's really not much to say. It is a hard once per turn, but that's fine because you're going to be trying to end the duel in that turn anyways. This is a hard going second deck. This deck does not have a very good going first. Next you play 3 copies of FLUFFAL Penguin. FLUFFAL Penguin is essentially Solid Soldier. It'll special summon 1 FLUFFAL monster from your hand, which further allows you to push for your combo. Next you play the 2 Bear and the 2 Wings. This is your standard combo really for getting through your deck and drawing and search. What Bear does is you can discard this card to add Toy Vendor directly from your deck. And FLUFFAL Wings allows you, let me get them in the camera for you. FLUFFAL Wings says you can discard, if this card is in your graveyard and you control Toy Vendor, you can banish this card from your graveyard and 1 other FLUFFAL to draw a card. Then you can send Toy Vendor from your field to the graveyard. So essentially the combo is use Bear, discard Bear, you search your Toy Vendor, activate Toy Vendor, use its effect, use discard Wings, then you banish Wings from the grave with the Bear, you get the draw, then you send Toy Vendor, and then you get the search. It's really insane what this deck can do, and it's so much more consistent now that we have patchwork. Like, you need patchwork. Next you play, for the 1-0s, 1 FLUFFAL Cat, 1 FLUFFAL Sheep, and 1 FLUFFAL Owl. FLUFFAL Owl is good if Anti-Spell or Imperial Order, because you still want to be able to fuse. Sheep is good just to extend. It's essentially just another link fodder. And Cat is just all around good. When it's sent to the grave, you can add a poly from your graveyard to your hand. So yeah. Next for the Edgems, you play 3 copies of Edgem Chain. What this card allows you to do is when it declares an attack, you can add an Edgem Chain from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent from your hand or field to the grave, you can add 1 Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. It is a hard once per turn, but you can search Patchwork with this card. Or the Fusion. Next, I play 2 copies of Edgem Sabers. This card's alright. When it's in your graveyard, you can place this 1 card from your hand on top of the deck, special summon this card in defense. This allows you to fix a problem that you may have. I'll explain it further in the video. I do still play 2 King of the Swamp. I always have, and I always will, because as many ways as there are to search poly in this deck, this card is just such a blowout. If you don't open the right hand, and you open this, at least you can unclog your hand. I am playing an interesting card. I am playing the 1 Cotton Eater. This card is good. If your opponent has a clear board, you want to put this in the scale and do your standard combo where you end with Sabers and Kraken, because that with this 300 booth is the OTK. And that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. You play 3 copies of Fright for Patchwork. I apologize, one's rare. I'm looking for that 3rd Ultra. Basically what this card does is it searches an Edgent monster and Polymerization from your deck and adds it to your hand. This card fixed the problem with the deck. The problem with the deck was you could never have a reliable way to search your Edgemps, which 9 times out of 10 is why you would have to run King of the Swamps to try to accumulate for that. But ever since this card released, you're guaranteed your OTKs, and you're guaranteed your fusions. Next up, you play the 3 copies of Toy Vendor. This card is pretty much the heart and soul of this deck. You need this card to go off. Like, this card just digs through your deck, adds so much consistency, so much searching, special summoning, and just putting more presence on the field. And it's amazing either way. Even if your opponent pops it, you're still going to keep getting effects. Next, you play the 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Hand traps do hurt a lot with this deck. It is very glass cannon. You need your combos to go off because this is a one-shot deck. It does not have a very great recovery. It does not have a going first at all. And this deck is just beat your opponent down. That's it. You do play the 3 copies of Poly. Kind of self-explanatory. You need Poly to fuse. I am playing 3 copies of Instant Fusion. Oh, apologize. A little spoiler for you. But the 3 Instant Fusion is good because you can bring out Sheep, which will allow you to continue fusing or comboing off if you don't have the right hand. If you open Instant Fusion, a FLUFFAL that isn't Dog, and Poly, or a way to get to Poly, you can combo off. Next, I do play, like you saw before, 3 Foolish Burial Goods. This sends the Toy Vendor to the graveyard, as well as the 1 Metal Foes Fusion. That way you can continue drawing and whatnot. And what I was saying before with Sabers is if you have Metal Foes in your hand, it's not that big of a deal. Put it on top of the deck. If you have the Foolish Burial Goods, just send it, and there you go. You just got a free +2 off of that. And a summon. And for the 2 additional fusions, you do play the 2 Fright for Fusion. It's good. This is just the blowout, essentially, which you would use if you can't get Poly. If you can make a Link 2 and then use Fright for Fusion and drop double Sabers, which does happen, it's probably the best way to play the deck. And to help with making that Link 2, since you are 9 times out of 10 going second, you do play the 1 Reborn, because you can bring back your opponent's monster from their graveyard to your field and link it off into your Link 2. And that's it for the main deck. I believe it is 43 cards. Now let's move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, you do play the 2 copies of Fright for Sabers. You need this card. This is the primary one that you're going to use at the very end. This is the one that's going to revive a fusion from your graveyard and put it back on the field to further accumulate your OTK. You do play the 2 Fright for Kraken. Kraken is pretty much the best one, I would say, next to Saber. You make Kraken. It can attack twice, and you can send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Doesn't say destroy, it says send. And you can It just can't attack directly that turn, but it's still a great card, nonetheless. Because you don't even need to use the effect. I don't use the effect because I'm going to inflict as much damage as possible. You still play the 3 sheep. Like I said before, you bring it out with instant fusion, you can fusion into it. It's just a good card. It's a level 5 Fright Fur. Why not play it? I do play 2 Tiger for the back row removal. This is just in case if I'm playing against, like, there can only be 1 or something and I have the right hand. I'm going to make Tiger pop their back row. If they strike me, it was game anyways. And finally, for the fusions, you do play the 1 Wolf. You could play more. I wouldn't recommend it. Wolf is just, this is what you bring off of Fright for Fusion. Banish them all from your graveyard. You attack for each time each material was fused for it. And finally, for the Link monsters, I play 1 Link Kuriboh. You can link cat off, and just extra protection. I do play the 1 Mrs. Radiant. Just boost the defense and attack of Earth. Lance Foricus. This should be Lambda or Beat Cop if you have. I don't, so I'm just using this for now. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix. It's good. It's just generic back row removal. Like I said, this deck also does have a difficulty with back row. And last but not least, I do play the 1 Borreload. You could just switch it out for Borrelsword. I prefer Borreload because I'm going to make the Link 4 attack over, steal your monster with my fusions, and then even more damage. Also, shout out to Gabe for signing it at my first regional. But that's going to do it, guys, for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like on this video. I know he doesn't say it, but it does make a big difference for him. Our Patreon is in the description. Our goal is to set a live stream up for him so he doesn't have to keep driving all the way out of state just to keep making videos for you guys. So again, leave a like, drop a comment down below what you guys think of the video. And I'm not a very experienced FLUFFAL player, so let me know if you guys have any ideas. One idea I did come up with is to counter the going first problem is to try to interpret Orchist into the deck. So at least you have a disruption. Just to kind of soften the board a little, and then OTK the next turn. So again, guys, my name's Dylan, aka Hybrid. Have a good night.